Welcome to the new channel, new look. Getting right off at it, I'm seeing these comments going around in my videos and everybody else's videos talking about Neve Campbell not being the franchise. I personally think it's disrespectful, and I don't understand how you can come up with a statement that Neve Campbell is not the franchise when Sidney Prescott's character has literally been the center of the story for this entire saga. Before the reboot, during the reboot, after the reboot. So I don't see how we're getting to this. So this video is gonna take a dive into it. Is this Ghostface franchise? Or is this Sidney Prescott's franchise? Let's get into it. Go around. I don't really watch other people's like theories or fan theories or this, because I don't want to talk about the same stuff, and I don't want my brain to talk about the same stuff the other channels are talking about. I think anybody who's watched a couple of my Scream fan videos see that I'm not like other channels like at all, and I try to keep it that way. That's why I don't really watch their channels, but I do let a couple of seconds play and I do read the comments, and in a lot of these comments I'm seeing constantly, you know, why y'all mad that Neve Campbell is not in it? Why y'all worried about Sidney being in the movie? Neve Campbell is not the franchise. Sidney Prescott is not the franchise. And I'm one of the people that I tend to really respect other people's opinion. But when it comes to this, I'm biased, and I'm making a video because I wanted to start an actual discussion about it, because it's just too much for me to type, and I think I would speak for a lot of people making this video, and it's not going to be about bashing your opinion and stuff like that. It's just going to be about the facts and about living Scream. We understand that it's fictional. We can make the argument about people holding things close to them or thinking highly of things fictional. That topic can go on forever. But the fact of the matter is, we fans of a movie, all of us. That's everybody on both sides. But I think one approach to the reason I'm seeing this comment and all these arguments about it is, I think that it's a generational divide. So to elaborate on that, I think it's a lot of us that we didn't just, you know, pop in Scream in the year 2000 and watch all the Screams and get, you know, ready for Scream 5. Like, you know, it's like we lived it. And we live Scream based off a story with Sidney Prescott. Usually when stories come to an end with a character or with a story, it ends. And the fact that Scream 6 at least seems to be, because at the time of making this video we really don't know yet, seems to be like it could be the end of Sidney Prescott and Scream. And of course that's not going to sit well with people who actually lived to see Scream in 1996. That Scream 2 popped back up so fast, and you know, that came out and that was enjoyed, but then Scream 3 hit the scene in 2000, the ending of a trilogy, the ending of a story, and then we get a relaunch with Scream 4. And somebody, or I think it was like 3 people that I seen, made the argument that Sidney wasn't in Scream 4 until halfway through the movie. But I mean, so what? The story started off about her cousin, and it ended up having to wait till she used Ghostface to strike to lure Sidney Prescott back to Woodsboro. It was a plot that made absolute sense. I don't think her screen time affected her being the center of the franchise. And then you get Scream 5, which, same thing, you know, sometime through the movie, and then we get Sidney back to Woodsboro. it's the same thing. It was like the same plot. Like, we know that Sidney has a life, and you know, being the center of the franchise, with her not being on screen, so per se, we know what's going on. When it comes to Scream 6, we don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know yet. We don't know yet if they just washed her out of the story. I'm letting everybody know, don't be surprised if they kill her off screen. But to bring this section of this video to a halt, the story is based on Sidney Prescott. If you seen or lived through Scream 1, Ghostface would have never been created if it wasn't for Maureen Prescott smashing Mr. Loomis. Billy Loomis finding out what his father did with Maureen, Sidney's mother, and then putting on this Ghostface mask to start the spree against Sidney. Scream 2, Billy's mother strikes back against Sidney. Scream 3, Sidney's brother strikes back against Sidney. Scream 4, Sidney's cousin strikes back against Sidney. And then we got Scream 5, where it's not even about Sidney. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, but a bunch of us have concerns about Scream 5. As much as we just want to see Ghostface on screen, Scream 5 was very concerning. And it's because it seems like now they're going in a different direction, which I don't think a lot of us have a problem with. I know I don't have a problem with it. I just have a problem with the films becoming about Ghostface as if Ghostface is Jason or Michael Myers. And I just have a problem as well with the fact of Ghostface now can go after whoever he wants to go after. It essentially makes Scream an unendable story. Now, they struck this thing up with Samantha and Tara, which we all know Samantha is like Billy's like illegitimate daughter, or his bastard child, his side baby, his jump off, you know, he a baby daddy. And skipping back to the generational divide, my opinion, what I feel is that this is where the conflict comes in, because there's so many people who are just jumping in like now, like as of Scream 5 and or even Scream 4. So when you jump out there and you initially see something different, the original really is not going to matter to you. Now, that's just one take that I have on it. I'm not saying it's the right take. I'm just putting my opinion out there. That's what I'm creating this for, because I want the comments open based off of like what I got to say about it. And I'm not hating on the new school and the Sam and Tara story or whatnot. I just feel like it could have been called something different, like Stab, Return to Woodsboro, Scream, and put Legacy under it. Like, you can't relaunch Scream and get rid of Scream. Now Gail's still in it, and I feel like Gail is like really underrated to the franchise. Like, if there was somebody like other than Sidney that kind of had to be there, it would kind of be Gail. So I'm curious to see what Gail's fate is going to be in this movie. Like, and the thing that sucks even more is I think that a lot of us would be more at peace if the originals were to be offed off by something tying into the originals. But the originals being offed by new ghost faces that just want to imitate Stab movies that really have nothing to do with them, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but I think it sucks more. Like, we do live in a messed up world, but it's just like, wow, I survived all these movies to make it to the later movies to be killed by fans of the movies of the movie. And I brought up the topic of them calling it something else because they could have like kept some of the legacy characters, like, you know, Randy's niece and nephew, you know, something to tie, and Sam, yes, being Billy's daughter, something to tie it into it, but call that joint Scream Legacies and just leave, let the originals live where they live and be fine. Like, why are you bringing them back and killing them off? Like, now all this is premature. Scream 6 is not even out yet, so I can be ranting in a totally wrong direction, and they can be setting up for something real, like, masterpiece like. But I'm not sure about that at this point, and all I see is a bunch of concerns. And I have to be true to the type of person I am and the type of world that I advocate that we live in. And I always say that we need to stop complaining about the things going on around us and in front of us and start to adapt. And as much as I'm so sick of hearing about Neve Campbell, SIDNEY not being the franchise, yo, like, it might be time for me to wake up and realize that if I'm a keep wanting to enjoy Scream or want to still be on the ride of Scream, that I might have to adapt to a world without her. And that's like a wake up call for all of us that stand on this side. The fact is, they didn't call it something else. They've already released Scream 5. Scream 6 is already it's already on the table. It's about to come out. Scream 7, I haven't heard that it had the green light as of yet, but we are all kind of pretty sure that it has the green light. Maybe it does, and they just keeping that under wraps until after. Then they'll let us know that they've had the green light. But, you know, as of right now, we don't even know. So it's a lot of concerns at this point. I wasn't concerned. Now I am. I mean, would y'all just be okay with the story just like really forever continuing without a SIDNEY, without a Neve? Like, do y'all really feel like she can just not be the franchise anymore? Like, they can just move on? The only way I see it working and it being pulled off is if it's an old Ghostface, like just an old Ghostface. But honestly, in all the fan theories about, you know, that we have about an old Ghostface returning, like, it's just like, why would they be going after Sam and Tara? Like, so this cult of Ghostface thing seems like it might be likely now. Like, I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. But I don't know in about a month from now. We will know in about a month from now. Then we can come back and discuss all this all over again. But if I wasn't clear enough earlier when I was trying to explain or relate to our, like, what I'm calling a generational divide, if the first time I seen Scream 4, I'm going to be well rooted and well connected to the characters that are in Scream 4. Hence, why you have so many Jill theories going around. Why you have a few Charlie theories going around. Why Kirby was considered such a huge fan favorite, because I'm one of those that's like, yo, what was so special about Kirby? But if you were introduced to Kirby and her team in Scream 4, then that's what's going to be true to you. That's what's going to matter to you. That's just human psychology. That's like what it is. It's most likely what it is. So we can't be mad at each other for looking at this thing different or feeling differently about the direction they're going with Scream. They're going to go the direction they want to go regardless. It's just a fact of how many of us are going to hang on and how many of us are going to get off the roller coaster. I liked the Scream series. I brought up the Scream series in my videos a few times. Matter of fact, I'm gonna post a couple things about the Scream series. I actually liked it. It had nothing to do with Sidney Prescott, but we knew that it was a spinoff. We knew that it was a totally different setting and a different series, and that's what was bought. That's what was built off of. It lasted 3 seasons. It was alright. The first season was the best season. For anybody that didn't watch it, the first season was the best season, my recommendation. But check it out. It has nothing to do with anybody in Scream. It's a total different story, and it worked, at least for me, and it lasted 3 seasons. So it worked for 3 seasons. And the 3rd season is the worst season. Like, so that's my rankings on the Scream series. But the purpose of this video, it didn't seem like it in the beginning, but I think you can tell throughout the duration of the video, is to kind of bring both sides at some peace point and start helping each other dissect the puzzle, still in our differences of opinion, instead of just attacking each other. Like, you know, we all just trying to figure this out. We all just fans. I think a couple of y'all theories are, like, from what it says in the comments, like, are pretty far-fetched or pretty stupid. But I don't come out and say that to nobody, because how stupid would I look if that really came true? Like, it's just totally differences of opinions and totally different mindsets. And we also see that when it comes to the writing and everything, or the direction that Scream is going in. Those writers don't write or think like each and every last one of us write or think. That's why some people are satisfied, some people are neutral, and some people are pissed. It's just the way it is. But that'll conclude this video. Please create and join the discussions going on in the comments, and try to stay positive while doing so.